30 nursery rhymes all at once at 2 in the morning. Okay, welcome back to Story Drop. I found this one late last night and I laughed so hard I had to share it with you guys. So here's how it goes. This one comes from a guy living with a roommate, and the whole thing is about the fridge, I know. Stay with me because it turns into one of the best little revenge stories I have read in a while. Let me set it up for you. We've got two guys sharing a place. I am going to call the guy telling the story Ethan and his roommate Kyle. Just two roommates splitting rent, splitting the kitchen, splitting the fridge, normal stuff. And if you have ever shared a fridge with somebody, you already know. The fridge is where friendships go to die. It is the number one battleground of every shared apartment on the planet. So Ethan has a problem, and the problem is Kyle. Specifically, the problem is what Kyle does to that fridge. Here is the habit. Every single night, Kyle wanders into the kitchen, he opens the fridge, and then he just stands there staring into it. You know the move. We all do the move. He is not even hungry. Not really. He grabs a cheese stick, one cheese stick, and then he walks away. But here's the part that ruins everything. He never closes the door all the way. He kind of nudges it shut, and the seal does not catch, and it just hangs there, open, all night long. And you already know what that does. The milk goes warm, the milk goes bad, the whole fridge sits there at room temperature until morning, quietly spoiling everything inside it. Ethan says they have lost so much milk to this. Carton after carton poured down the drain because Kyle wanted a cheese stick at midnight and could not push a door. And I want to pause on how specific this is because this is what makes it real. It is not some huge dramatic betrayal. It is the tiny, dumb, everyday thing. The door left open a crack, the warm milk. That is the kind of detail you cannot make up. So Ethan does the mature thing first, he asks. He goes to Kyle like a reasonable adult and he asks him nicely, "Hey man, please, close the fridge all the way. Just push it till it clicks. That is it. That is the whole request." And Kyle says, "Sure, of course, no problem." And then Kyle does it again, and again nothing changes. Not one thing. Because asking nicely in a shared apartment does about as much as yelling at the weather. You guys know this. The nice ask is step one, and step one almost never works. So Ethan had a decision to make. He could keep asking and keep losing milk forever. He could passive aggressively leave a note on the door, which nobody ever reads, or he could get creative. And, oh, did he get creative? Okay, so here is where the story turns, and this is the part that made me sit up. Ethan decides he's going to build a reminder system. That is how he says it, a reminder system. Which sounds so calm and so reasonable, right? Like he is going to set a phone alarm or put up a cute little sticky note. No, that is not what a reminder system means to this man. Ethan goes online and he starts shopping, and what he buys is honestly a work of art. He finds a bulk pack of musical fridge magnets, 30 of them, and not the nice kind. I mean the cheapest, most cursed plastic magnets you can imagine. Little parrots, little frogs, little strawberries. And here's the thing about these magnets. They have a light sensor in them. So, when light hits them, they play music. They screech out these tinny little tunes the second they detect that they are no longer in the dark. So think about what that means inside a fridge. A fridge is dark when the door is closed. The light only comes on when the door opens. You see where this is going. You already see it. And Ethan does not buy a normal amount. Oh no. He finds a vendor selling these things by the pound, like they are potatoes. And he buys enough to cover every single square inch of that appliance. Okay, hold on. I have to stop here for a second. The commitment on this guy. He did not buy 5 magnets to make a point. He bought 30 in bulk, weighed out by the pound from a wholesale vendor because he decided that the punishment should match the crime. This is not a warning shot. This is a declaration of war over a jug of milk. And honestly, I respect it completely. So Ethan waits. He is patient. This is what separates a good petty revenge from a great one. He does not do it while Kyle is home. He waits until Kyle leaves for work. The apartment is empty. He has got the whole place to himself. and then he gets to work. He opens the fridge and he starts covering it. The inside of the door, magnet after magnet after magnet, the shelves lined with them, every level, every surface packed with these little plastic parrots and frogs just waiting in the dark. And then he does the detail that made me actually gasp out loud. He opens the egg carton, and he hides one inside, tucked in with the eggs, in the dark, waiting. That is the move of a genius. That is not anger anymore, that is craftsmanship. Because now, even if Kyle somehow survives the main event, there is a second ambush hiding in the eggs. So now the trap is set. The whole fridge is rigged, top to bottom, every shelf, the door, and one little sleeper agent living in the egg carton. And Ethan just closes it all up, puts everything back to normal on the outside. From the front, the fridge looks completely ordinary. You would never know. It is just sitting there in the kitchen, humming, totally innocent. And Ethan goes back to his room and he waits for night to fall. So, just so we are all clear, because I genuinely cannot believe this is real, a grown man weaponized 30 screaming, light activated frog magnets, hid one in the eggs, and is now lying in wait for his roommate to open a fridge. Over milk, this is where we are. And I would not change a single thing about it. Okay, so here's what happened that night. Ethan is in his room. He is awake, just reading, minding his own business. The apartment is dark and quiet. Kyle has come home from work, done his thing, and everything is calm. And then Ethan hears it, footsteps. Kyle is up. Kyle is walking to the kitchen, right on schedule for the nightly cheese stick run. And I want you to picture Ethan in that moment, lying there, book in his hands, not reading a word of it anymore, just listening, waiting, calling right now. I figured Kyle opens the door, one magnet chirps, he laughs, he closes it, lesson learned, cute little prank. That is what I thought was coming, a gentle little gotcha. I was so wrong, it is so much better than that. Ethan hears the footsteps stop at the fridge, and then he hears it, that specific sound, the little suction pop of the fridge door breaking its seal. The door opens, the light comes on, and all 30 of them wake up at once. 30 different 8-bit nursery rhymes, all blasting at maximum volume, all at slightly different speeds. Ethan describes it as a digital nightmare, and I cannot think of a better way to say it. It is not music. It is 30 cheap little speakers screaming over each other. None of them in sync, every parrot and frog and strawberry shrieking its own broken lullaby into a dark kitchen at 2 in the morning. Imagine that hitting you, you are half asleep, you just wanted a cheese stick. And the fridge opens its mouth and screams 30 songs at you at once. And Kyle, poor Kyle, never stood a chance. Ethan hears the whole thing through the wall. He hears Kyle yelp, an actual yelp. He hears a plate hit the floor and shatter. And then he hears the door slam shut instantly, as fast as humanly possible. He dropped the plate and ran. And I need you to understand the comedy of that timing. Kyle did not investigate. He did not go, huh, what is that noise? His body just reacted. Yelp, drop, slam, pure animal panic in his own kitchen from his own fridge. I watched horror movies with less build up than that fridge just delivered. Okay, wait. I have to stop and just sit in this for a second. Because think about it from Kyle's side. It is the middle of the night. The house is silent. You shuffle into the kitchen, half asleep, and you open the one appliance you have opened 10,000 times in your life, the safest, most boring object in the entire apartment, and it screams at you, not once, 30 times over, all at once, in 8-bit. That is the kind of thing that rewires your brain. That is the kind of thing you feel in your chest for a full minute after. And here is what I keep thinking about. The egg carton. We never even find out if the egg magnet went off. But somewhere in that chaos, there was a backup screamer sitting in the eggs, ready to go for round 2. Ethan built a sequel into this thing and might not have even needed it. Honestly, if it were me, I do not know if I would have had the patience to pull this off. I think I would have gotten impatient and just taped a note to the door or texted him for the 100th time and lost. But Ethan played the long game. He waited, he set the trap, and he let Kyle walk right into it on his own. And you cannot argue with the results. What would you guys have done here, be honest? Because there is a version of you that keeps asking nicely and keeps pouring warm milk down the sink forever. And there is a version of you that buys 30 screaming frogs by the pound. And I think you learned something about yourself in that choice. So, here's how it all shook out. After that night, something changed, and it changed permanently. Kyle stopped leaving the door open, not for a week, not until he forgot. He has not left that fridge door ajar since, not one time. Think about that. Months of asking nicely did nothing. Note after note, reminder after reminder, please just close the door. All of it. Useless. And then 30 plastic magnets fixed the problem in about 4 seconds flat. One night, one scream, problem solved forever. And Ethan ends his story with the perfect line. He says it was the best few dollars he ever spent, and you know what? I believe him, because you cannot put a price on that. Not on the fix, and honestly, not on the satisfaction of hearing that plate hit the floor. Okay, so here is my verdict. Ethan was completely in the right, full stop. He asked nicely first, which matters. He gave Kyle every chance to just push a door. This was not a surprise attack out of nowhere. This was a guy who tried the boring, polite way, got ignored over and over, and then got clever about it. And the beauty of it is that nobody actually got hurt. Kyle lost a plate and a few years off his life, sure, but the punishment fit the crime perfectly. It was annoying, it was harmless, and it taught the exact lesson it needed to teach. A reminder system. He was not even lying. Is it a little unhinged to buy 30 light-activated magnets in bulk over spoiled milk? Yes, absolutely. And that is exactly why it works. The pettiness is the point. But I want to hear from you. Would you have gone this far, or would you have just kept asking and quietly seething? Was this a fair fix, or did Kyle deserve at least a warning before the fridge started screaming at him? Tell me in the comments, because I go back and forth on it. And if you are not done yet, there is another one waiting for you on your screen right now. That one is not about a fridge. That one is about a roommate who crossed a line you cannot laugh off. Go watch it. See you next time.